What is a credit score and why establishing a good credit score is so crucial? Can you please suggest some easy to implement budgeting tips?
Every youngster or individual should have an emergency fund. Make sure that you use credit, but you use it wisely.
How does maintaining a good credit influence one's access to credit?
Make sure that you continue to pay on a timely basis. Monitor your CIBIL report and score.
Have you ever wondered how the digital world could transform your financial health, or thought about starting your own financial journey, but you got overwhelmed by the vast sea of information that is out there? Hello everyone, welcome to TVS Credit Fireside, a podcast where we spark engaging conversations about finances and beyond. I am Archana, your host, and together we will explore the exciting world of finances, insights, and innovations. Today, we are going to deep dive into something that everybody needs to know about. The topic is building credit. To help us navigate this essential topic, we have a very special guest with us today from TransUnion CIBIL, Mr. Bhavesh Jain. Bhavesh is the Chief Revenue Officer at TransUnion CIBIL, and his expertise in the field of credit is unparalleled. So welcome to the show, Bhavesh. It's great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much, Archana. And while you did a formal introduction for me, which is that I am the Chief Revenue Officer, I'll add a few more details to it. I've spent 15 years with TransUnion CIBIL, have seen the organization grow through many cycles and build a foundation of formal credit in this country. That's on the serious side. Yeah. But there is a fun side to me as well, which I want everybody to know, is that I'm a big Bollywood buff and a big cricket fan. And you will see tons of pictures of me posing as the iconic Shah Rukh Khan pose. So I want to make sure that everybody knows that it's not just the CIBIL score which I talk about, but with equal excitement I talk about Shah Rukh Khan and Virat Kohli.
Thank you, Bhavesh. It's wonderful to learn more about you and your work at TransUnion CIBIL. Let's just start from the basics, because basics can often be a bit confusing. So, Bhavesh, could you please explain to our listeners, particularly to the young adults who are just starting their own financial journeys, like what is a credit score and why establishing a good credit score is so crucial?
The CIBIL score, which is the de facto industry definition of credit score in India, is a 3-digit score, ranges from 300 to 900. And it predicts the creditworthiness of a consumer. And since you mentioned about young consumers, it's very similar to a college student passing out of a graduation program or a postgraduate program. Marks or the percentages matter, because somebody who gets a 90%, you know this individual has a high IQ and is likely to perform much better when he or she comes into the corporate world or entrepreneurship world.
Yeah.
Similarly, the CIBIL score predicts the likelihood of a borrower going bad or performing too good on the loans or credit cards. Higher the score, better is the creditworthiness of that consumer. Now, CIBIL score is based on few parameters. The first one being around credit behavior and repayment history.
Okay.
So score considers a 3-year period for a consumer, how over a period of 3 years, one has repaid on a regular basis, month on month, on all the outstandings, whether it's the loans, it's a credit cards, or if it's a businessman, the individual capacity business loan taken, which synthesizes and gives a unique number to an individual, saying that if you have a good CIBIL score, you are entitled to multiple financial benefits in this country. And slowly, the CIBIL score is evolving as the reputational collateral for every citizen in this country. And hence, the point which you mentioned, for youngsters who are going to build their reputation, it's a very critical personal identity number for them to watch out and monitor.
It's good to know, like, having basic understanding of credit score can open up many doors and provides you financial flexibility. So could you please suggest a few methods for our young audience, like who are just building and maintaining good credit, like how can they maintain that particular good score, CIBIL score basically?
Youngster who passes out of a college and goes into the corporate world or starts their own business, generally two lending products are youngster picks up. The first one being consumer durable.
Yeah.
And within consumer durable, just go and buy a phone. That phone is on finance by multiple NBFCs. And I know TVS Credit is also getting into consumer durable financing.
Yeah.
Or the second product one picks up, if it would join an IT company, would get a credit card. It's important for a youngster to understand saying that when you take a consumer durable loan or a credit card, is that you pick up those loans only if you can pay it on a timely basis, on a monthly basis. And second thing to watch out for is that consumer or youngster in a position to pay the full amount. So be within your defined boundaries. Make sure that you continue to pay on a timely basis. And second piece of advice for all the youngsters would be that monitor your CIBIL report and score. This is a financial health report. And it's important to watch out at the young age because you have a 30, 40-year horizon for yourself to take care going forward. So a youngster should come on CIBIL.com. There is one CIBIL report and CIBIL score provided to every citizen free by TransUnion CIBIL. And hence, I would make an appeal and encourage to all the youngsters in the country to come on CIBIL.com, pull their own credit report and score, and make sure that they monitor it on a regular basis. Because any sort of changes you should be aware about. If there are any remediation to be taken, please take it. But most important thing is live within your budgets. Make sure that you use credit, but you use it wisely.
So basic key takeaway is that you make your payments on the time. And it seems like a key habit that one needs to develop very early on. So can you please suggest some easy to implement budgeting tips to our youngster? Because most of us end up with empty pockets by the end of the month. So is there any tips that you can suggest to us so that we don't end up with such scenarios?
First starting point is actually the habit of saving, where you ensure that you're keeping aside a certain portion of your income for saving purposes. And you may decide based upon your appetite, risk, family background, your disposable income, all those criterias which are there, because that saving will help you build a good emergency fund. Every youngster or individual should have an emergency fund. So that's one big tip. Second one is in terms of make sure that you have an end purpose for using credit. So if you're buying a phone, which is going to help you work better, or if you're buying a two-wheeler, you are taking credit, or if you are sort of using credit card for your daily expenses, make sure that you're very conscious about the end use of credit which you are availing from the market. And then the third and the most critical aspect, I will repeat again, is to make sure that you pay on timely basis. Because when you pay on a timely basis, it builds a good credit history and a good repayment behavior. And that's very important as the youngster moves from the early 20s to the late 30s when they want to move ahead in their life journey from buying a phone to buying a home or a car. And if they don't have a good repayment history and a good CIBIL score, they may not be entitled to get their dream home or their dream car basis credit.
Yeah.
So these would be some of the tips which I would leave with all the youngsters. And most important thing is that plan your financials well.
Yeah.
Note down sort of your financial obligations as well as in terms of time it over next 3 to 5 years so that you don't arrive in a situation where you're struggling to meet your means.
Got it. Thank you so much. Actually, I was coming to this question only. How does maintaining a good credit influence one's access to credit and the term that they might receive?
I would actually like to share a small story. A few years back, I was traveling to Golden Temple and I was getting calls from office and I iterated the word CIBIL and CIBIL score a few times. The driver asked me, who was barely into his 20s, He's saying, sir, are you from CIBIL? And I said, yes, I work with CIBIL. And he said, I want to share a story with you. I said, go ahead. He said, there was a demonetization where cash was not accepted at most of the places, and I started driving. I used to go to petrol pumps and I realized I need a credit card. I took a credit card and I kept paying my credit card bills on a monthly basis. And then after a few years of working, I realized I need to buy a home to take care of my elderly parents. And he said, I went to a bank to take a housing loan. And the first thing they asked me was, what's your CIBIL score? And I said, my CIBIL score is 780. And they gave me the best rate of interest. And I said, good, because we are aware about it, that the banking industry links the rate of interest to the CIBIL score or the credit score. But that is not the end of the story. What he said was the most heartening part of the conversation. He said that first time somebody didn't ask me about my profession and demean me, saying that I am a driver and hence I won't be entitled to the best financial sort of terms and conditions from the bank. But because I had a good CIBIL score, I am entitled to get the best rate of interest in the country. So that's the power of having a good CIBIL score, that a youngster or a citizen of this country would be given the best rate of interest. Because in finance terminology, it's risk-based pricing. That if you have the best CIBIL score, means you have the sort of best creditworthiness, and hence you are entitled to get the best rate of interest. The second benefit which a youngster can derive out of it is in terms of a better credit limit. Because your creditworthiness is good enough, you will be entitled for a far better credit limit. So if you're looking at a home which is of a certain value, you can be entitled for that higher loan amount if you have a good CIBIL score along with your income eligibility. Third is in terms of better terms and conditions like tenure, which gives a certain flexibility to an individual to manage their cash flows better. Fourth is there are a lot of, and youngsters like and love credit cards, they love cashbacks, they love reward points. Now, some of these premium credit cards have a CIBIL score threshold. Now, if you have a good credit score, you can get premium credit card, which will give you access to airport lounge, cashback, rewards, multiple of those benefits. And it's not just the credit exposure or credit card, but today lot of other BFSI companies like insurance and others are also looking at credit score and CIBIL score, saying that this customer has a very good repayment track. That means he'll pay my premium on time. And hence I need to give him a green channel path. So by maintaining a good credit history and a good CIBIL score, a youngster can benefit on multiple fronts and can really ease their day-to-day financial transaction and their life.
Good to know that. Actually, I can also relate to this because I recently purchased a property in Bangalore, and thanks to my good credit score, I actually got a home loan at a very favorable rates. So yeah, maintaining a good...
Congratulations for buying your new home.
Thank you so much.
At this age, if you have been able to buy a new home, means great. I'm sure you and your parents would be really proud. And it's an humbling experience for us at TransUnion CIBIL that a CIBIL score is enabling every youngster in this country to get the best terms and conditions.
Thank you so much. So speaking of technology, so Bhavesh, how do you see that how financial products have evolved and are serving the better needs of the consumers? Are there any innovation that you can give example of?
Many. The biggest one is artificial intelligence and machine learning. So technology has actually enabled a lot of ease for the financial institutions as well as ease the life of a consumer. So I'll first start with the financial institutions. Is that based upon AI ML models, financial institutions are able to personalize the offerings of the financial products to the consumers. So they know that a youngster may be in all likelihood looking for a consumer durable loan for an iPhone or any other mobile phone or a two-wheeler loan or for a car loan or a credit card. So based upon multiple data sources, the AI/ML models have enabled the institutions to hyper personalize their offerings and not a generic one saying that loan le lijiye, loan le lijiye. It's very targeted. And what does this targeting do? It actually reaches out to a consumer segment who is in need of that financial product. And financial product is a means to reach their or fulfill their dreams. Nobody gets up early in the morning saying that, hey, I will go and take a loan today. वो किसी का dream नहीं होता है.
Yeah.
A youngster has a dream that I want to buy the most fancy two-wheeler, or I want to go and buy a fancy car, or I want to buy a dream home for my parents or for my spouse. Those are the dreams. Financial products' objective is to enable a consumer to fulfill their dreams.
Yeah.
In that, technology has played a big role. I will give you an example from the financer side, from the consumer side. You walk into any consumer durable store or electronic goods company store, right from a Chroma to a down south Vivek. You go and look for a phone. You're not dying or standing in the queue saying that, yes, I want to be hassled with the entire documentation and loan because that's what I crave every morning when I get up. No. So what has technology enabled? You go into a Chroma or a Vivek's, you say, I want to buy this phone. They will sort of check the CIBIL score. Based on the CIBIL score and a simple documentation, everything on a tab, the store will say, yes, you can take away or walk away with this phone within 10 to 15 minutes on a loan. Now, that's a physical world. But Gen Z does not enjoy going to a physical store because it consumes a lot of time. They will go onto an e-commerce website. They'll compare 3-4 products. They'll look at features. They'll look at benefits. They'll look at cashback. And they may want to buy that phone or a television. And then a financer, including somebody like TVS Credit, may be offering on sort of a loan spread over 6 months to 18 months. And there will be an option for the youngster to not just buy a smart TV, but even buy a home theater. Now, this bundled offer is shown to the consumer at the ease of sitting on a sofa set in their comfort of their home. And they say, yes, I am interested. In the back end, your CIBIL score is pulled, and the CIBIL score and the report is delivered in time taken less than blinking of eyes.
Nice.
So this entire process end to end happens in a few seconds after a consumer decides. Now this is what technology has enabled. That sitting anywhere, right from your sofa set to your office, to in a restaurant, you can buy anything which you want on credit.
Nice.
This is how technology has created convenience for the consumers, and it has made sure that the mobile native population of Gen Z is getting what it aspires to, or the way it wants to be served.
So nice. Good to know that because of technology, processes have become much easier and much more efficient. Thank you, Bhavesh. Thank you for sharing your valuable insights with us today. To all our listeners, we hope you enjoyed the first episode of TVS Credit Fireside. And in our next episode, we will cover how do you see the role of AI and analytics changing the credit world, how digital lending has changed the borrowing experience for the consumers, especially the younger generation who are tech savvy. There are certain myths and misconceptions about credit industry as well.
If you're going to check your CIBIL score regularly, it will not impact your CIBIL score. My grandfather would think credit is a bad word. The younger generation, they would say credit is a form of life.
So don't forget to subscribe and tune in for the next episode. Until next time, this is Archana signing off from TVS Credit Fireside.